Good morning, XRP Army. Welcome back. It is a wonderful rate cut Wednesday. We have chart analysis, we have news, we have all of the things today. And as always, if this is your first time here, kick your feet up, relax, enjoy yourself. But if it's your second time, it's time for payment. You need to hit subscribe, smash the like button, and leave a comment. Let me know you guys are here. I appreciate every single one of you. And without further ado, we will hop into the chart analysis. So let's go ahead and pull it up here and see what we're dealing with today. So things are still going according to plan. We have our chart here that we drew out yesterday, that we cleaned up this week. Excuse me. We have our chart here that we cleaned up this week, and it's still going according to plan. We're still consolidating in this 256 to 270 area. We have not pushed through 270 yet. We were talking over here about a pushback, bringing it down into this 252 to 256 area. So far, it has been falling to that, and we have risen up. We hit 266 before we fell off this morning. It looks like RSI is now oversold. Let's zoom in. Looks like RSI is about oversold around the 262 to 263 area, so we may get another push up. Again, I'm not expecting much, especially I know everyone's waiting for a pump with the rate cuts, and we'll talk about that, but I really think we're going to sell the news event, and it's going to bring our price back into this area. A lot of people are calling for a kick over 270 finally, and I really hope I'm wrong, but it has been trending this way. We called it out a couple days ago. We talked about it rounding off and it looking like it's going to come back to this area. I am not a professional at this. I am not, this is not financial advice, but I'm very good at pattern recognition, and I watch this chart a lot. So to me, it just, that's what it seems like it's forming based on my hours of watching the XRP chart. I find it interesting. A lot of people think it's crazy. I find it interesting. So this chart is rounding off, and I see, just me personally, I see a pullback here and a shot up. And if I actually brought it up for you guys to look at, because I think it's a lot of fun. And now I like to predict it out, and this is, the more I'm wrong, the more I'm right. That's the way I like to explain it. The more I try to do this and I get it wrong and I learn, the more I end up getting it right. And I've started to notice I'm getting it right more. And that's taken 5 years of doing this, but it's certainly working. So again, I think we're going to pull back to this area, and I drew this line up to represent what I think is going to happen here in the next few days, and I think it's a lot of fun. I kind of joked in a short when I wrote it, or I put a channel on this that we were tracking over the weekend. But honestly, this is what I'm looking at, truthfully. So we come here. I think we're going to reload in this area. We're going to get our rate cuts this week, and then and we're going to consolidate in this area. And as soon as the government reopens and we start talking about ETFs again and all that, this is going to go. And this is what I think it's going to look like. I'm going to switch it out to the 4-hour chart here, and we're going to zoom out. This is the line I said it was going to bounce off of, and this is what I thought it was going to do. And if you zoom out and look at the rest of the chart, if we do hit that, doesn't that look familiar? That looks very nice, doesn't it? It looks familiar to me. Anyway, that's just what I'm seeing. I hope you guys enjoy the chart analysis. And without further ado, we will hop into the news, and it's all about price appreciation. And this first one's from FX. I like FX personally. They're usually wrong about their price analysis, though, so let's talk about that. XRP price prediction, key levels to watch ahead of the FOMC meeting. And this is why I brought this up, because it shows you here Ripple RLUSD is about to reach 900 million market cap. This is massive for institutional adoption, everyone. This is huge. Evernorth has already completed its $1 billion XRP treasury. They announced this 2 weeks ago, and they're done already? That is fast, man. They are not messing around. Okay, so think about it. Well, let's think about this for a second. What reason, other than, money, of course, but what reason would Ripple be all about a 1 billion treasury and accumulate it so fast before the government reopens? Do you think they know something? I don't know. To me, follow the money. That's a rule of life. Follow the money. The money tells you where to go. It does every time. XRP could climb to $4 at least if the latest rally gains traction. We've been talking about that. I think 380 if it decides to shoot up, but that's just me. We'll worry about 380 first. My targets are always slightly below everyone else's, I've noticed. I'm usually like 10-20 cents below everyone else when they're talking about, a shoot up, and it typically, I've been right recently. I think it's cool. XRP has booked an 11% gain in the last 7 days, bringing the token's year-to-date gains to 28%. year to date. So we're still up year to date by nearly 30%. That's awesome. If you're looking at this on the grand scheme, and not just the liquidation event we had a while ago. As the crypto market has progressively recovered ahead of this week's Fed meeting. So we are doing a buy the rumor, sell the news. That's what that's predicting. I'm telling you, buy the rumor. So they've been gaining all week, anticipating the Fed cuts. We had the good news with the China talks. I think we might see a big pullback today. Rate cuts considered a done deal by the market participants, as the CME Group's FedWatch survey indicates a 99% probability of a 25 basis points cut. So we're going to get a 25% cut today. Question is if we get a half a point cut, and the even bigger question is, what does Japan do at the end of this week? I'm watching that probably more closely than ours. If we cut 50 basis points, which I don't think we will, but if we do, if we cut 50 basis points, Japan's slated to hike 0.75 basis points this month, and that could get spicy next month. We talked about that in a previous video. Check it out. Meanwhile, market cap of Ripple, network's native stablecoin, is about to reach $900 million for the first time in history, underscoring the rapid growth that the Ripple ecosystem is experiencing lately. Rapid growth for the ecosystem. And I think I have it up here, and I want to pull it up here. Something like 560% transaction growth on the XRPL in the last 30 days. It is ramping up fast. I hope I have that pulled up here. I think that's important. But here, it's prime time, says SBI CEO. Praises Ripple's latest XRP RLUSD utility push. SBI Holdings CEO Kateo has cheered Ripple's latest acquisition move, with the fintech company recently announcing acquisition of Hidden Road. Now Ripple Prime was complete. It's prime time. Ripple closes Hidden Road acquisition to bring prime brokerage into the digital age. The SBI founder tweeted alongside Ripple's release on the milestone. So this is the second largest bank in Japan. They're also a Ripple partner. Keep in mind that for context. But they are very, very excited about the ongoings with Ripple Prime and RLUSD. Guys, I've been coming on here and talking. I mean, integration is happening. Adoption is happening. This is no longer the speculative phase. This is the adoption and integrative phase. And it's a matter of time. I know a lot of people are coming on here with crazy price predictions, and there's so many people about XRP beating a desk. But, I mean, you cannot read the tea leaves. I mean, it is all over. It is over. The next chapter includes the formation of an advisory council of world-class research, new collaboration at the University of San Francisco, and over $1.5 million in renewed university partnerships funded entirely in Ripple RLUSD. So they're giving back. Ripple announces new era of university blockchain research. That's good. They're handing over RLUSD to help with blockchain research. That's amazing. They're growing the community. Crypto investment products see $921 million in inflows as rate cut hopes rise. So, I don't know why this is up here. That's annoying. Digital asset funds saw $920 million of inflows last week as U.S. inflation data renewed hopes for rate cuts. Again, buy the rumor, sell the news. Bitcoin has a rebound with $931 million in inflows, while Ethereum products recorded its first outflows in 5 weeks. Ethereum's going down. Global ETP trade volumes surged $39 billion, far above the yearly average, driven mainly by U.S. and German investors. Lower CPI data lifts investor sentiment as ETP volumes surge. So ETP volumes are going up. People are starting to invest in risk on assets as everyone has become convinced that we are going to have a rate cut. And again, I think it's overbought. Not financial advice, just my opinion. XRP news today: Fed rate cuts bet and Trump Z talks could ignite rally. So again, we had the Trump and Xi talks earlier this week, basically squashing the China-Trump trade deal. And now we have the ETFs coming at the end of next week, hopefully, or we have the ETFs coming hopefully next week because they are being approved, and we will talk about that. ETFs are being approved while the government is still shut down, and we can cover that here in a second. Canary Capital just had some go live yesterday. XRP did not. But so the U.S. government shutdown reaches 28 days, delaying XRP and spot ETF launches and stalling market optimism. XRP holds firm above 260, despite selling pressure signaling strong support and bullish undercurrents. We do have strong support around the 255, 252 to 260 area. I don't foresee us going below that. It is possible. If we break 252, we could get all the way back down to 238 again, and I don't want that. I'm hoping for a reload in that 252, 256 area we talked about. Another failed U.S. Senate vote extended the U.S. government shutdown to 28 days on Tuesday. The second longest shutdown continues to delay the launch of XRP spot ETFs and anticipate influx of sticky institutional money. October is turning into a disappointing tagline for XRP holders, with the token down 7.86% in October. We're down 7% in October because of the liquidation event. We're still up for the year, and we're still up year over year massively. So this is the SEC talking about Canary Capital, because this is important, and it kind of ticked me off a little bit, but I mean, I understand the game. Canary Capital, Bitwise, to launch first U.S. altcoin ETFs despite shutdown. These are not the Rex Osprey 1940 ETFs. These are your standard regular spot ETFs. They are opening. Looks like Canary Capital plans to launch U.S. exchange-traded products tied to the Litecoin and Hedera cryptocurrencies on Tuesday. That was yesterday. The firm told Reuters, not Reuters, forging ahead despite government shutdown that has hobbled the U.S. securities regulator. So, the first question people want to know is, how can they launch their ETFs with the government shut down? It says we've had several interactions with the SEC on both filings over the last year. Stephen McClure, Canary's founder and CEO, told Reuters, I always want to say Reuters, told Reuters we were very much ready to go before the shutdown. Canary is relying on mid-September vote by the SEC commissioners, allowing 3 national security exchanges to adopt generic listing standards. The cryptocurrency and other commodity exchange-traded products. That vote removed the last obstacle for asset managers hoping to launch dozens of new spot funds tied to an array of cryptocurrencies. SEC officials could not immediately be reached for comment. Previously, new spot crypto ETFs such as Bitcoin funds launched in January and had to undergo lengthy product-specific reviews by 2 different SEC staffers. The new rules enable crypto asset managers to launch products as long as they meet a certain criteria. So, this is going to be, so essentially this is the S1 filings, and I know a lot of those have been put in for XRP, but again, SEC is shut down, but they are doing it without the SEC. They have some information, and apparently the SEC won't say why this is special. So again, I talked earlier that there are ways they could launch ETFs with the government shutdown. I did a video on that as well. I'll try to put the link in the description for you. But we did do a video on how they could still do that. I thought XRP ETFs were going to come too. They may still here in the next, couple days. Canary Capital does have a spot XRP ETF out there they're working on as well. So that's everything. It's a lot of price stuff. It's a lot of stuff waiting on the rate cut and the China talks and things like that. And honestly, that worries me. I think we're going to have a pullback. I hope I'm wrong. I've been warning of that all week. I feel like Chicken Little telling you guys this, but let's see what we're doing here. Let me pull it back up for you here. See what we're doing now. Still at 263 even right now. Nothing happening. I'll check back in. Again, rate cuts today, and whenever there is having macroeconomic trends or any kind of large announcements, it can throw a chart out the window. So this is not financial advice. Do your own research. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you're still here at the end of the video, please leave a like, comment. Let me know you're here. Comment. Let's see, it's Wednesday. Comment wonderful, because you're wonderful for being here to the end of the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really, really helps the channel, and I appreciate every single one of you. For now, though, this is the end. Later.